We should probably let the people know. Are you letting the people know? Okay. We're live. What's up, y'all? I am Deborah Sengupta Stith, music writer for the Austin American-Statesman and the USA Today Network. Normally, I would be coming to you live from Austin, Texas, but today I am here live and direct from the Hollywood Bowl here in sunny Los Angeles, California for Willie Nelson 90, long story short. We are out here celebrating Willie Nelson's 90th birthday. 90 years of Willie Nelson, y'all! What? From myself, my colleagues back in Austin, and the entire USA Today network, I'd like to wish Willie Nelson a very, very happy birthday. Soon, like I said, we're here on the red carpet, and soon we're going to have some different celebrities from the world of music coming by to share their thoughts about how Willie's music has affected their lives. In the meantime, while it's just us, let me tell you a little bit about. Let's just take a moment to reflect on Willie's legacy of 9 decades on this earth. Willie was born in 1933 in Abbott, Texas, which is a rural farming community. He was born into a poor family. He, as a child, picked cotton in the fields to help support his family. As he grew older, he learned that picking the guitar that his grandfather had given him before he died in local saloons and honky-tonks was a better way to make money. Now, Willie's grandmother, Mama Nelson, didn't love her son or her grandson being in these places where there were unsavory characters and alcohol, but she was also a practical woman who was trying to raise a family on her own as a single parent back in the Great Depression, and accepted that you do the things that you do for the money. And that kind of launched for Willie this lifelong career of chasing the songs that were in his heart through honky-tonks to stadiums like we're at today, sharing this wonderful music that was in his heart. Like most artists of his generation, he relocated to Nashville in the 60s, and he had some success there as a songwriter. He was actually making some progress as a songwriter, but he always knew that he had a future as a solo artist. And he eventually, in the 70s, relocated to Austin, and it was there in our city that he really had this creative awakening. It was the 70s in Austin. If we have some time later tonight, I'm going to tell you some more stories about how crazy the 70s in Austin were. But there was a cosmic cowboy movement, which kind of combined country music and psychedelics and all these other things. And Willie became a leader of that movement. And in that time, he released some of the most important music of his career, classic albums like Shotgun Willie and Phases and Stages. And those albums, it's worth noting, the record execs down in Nashville did not love those albums. They felt like they were too stripped back, that they sounded like demos. But Willie was really seizing creative control of his destiny. And he put those albums out the way they were. People responded to his simple telling of these beautiful songs that captured emotion and soul, and they became some of the biggest albums of his career. After that, Willie kind of goes on. He becomes an outlaw country music icon, releases Waylon and Willie, releases Redheaded Stranger, and again, getting boxed in is not a thing that he's willing to do. His label is like, well, you're doing that, it's selling, let's do more of that. 1978, Willie releases the album Stardust, which is an album of songbook classics, completely rocked the Nashville industry. So we've got Lyle Lovett, another great Texan artist, coming up on the red carpet, who's going to talk to you a little bit about Willie. Um, Beyond that, though, I just wanted to tell you that so in Austin, he sort of charted a different direction for his career, changed the landscape of the city, and also changed the landscape of country music as we know it. Songwriters in Austin will tell you that some of them relocated to Austin because it was Willie's country, and they didn't want to have to do Nashville country where they felt the themes were too simplistic. They loved the complex things that Willie brought to Texas country music, which we are going to talk about a little bit more with Lyle Lovett as he comes up on the red carpet here. We are going to be here all evening long capturing this. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to tell y'all is that Willie, this career he has gone on. Willie is turning 90. He has not slowed down. In this decade of his 80s, Willie has cut, I believe, 17 albums, and they haven't just been throwaway albums. He won 2 Grammys this year. So we are really excited to be here celebrating Willie's legacy as Austin, Texas, bringing a little bit of Texas to the runway here, and for the whole country, because Willie is a national treasure. I think that nobody here would dispute that at all. Getting ready for our first interview on the red carpet here. Getting ready here, guys. It's going to be a beautiful night. We've seen some photos from the rehearsals. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of cool collaborations. Leon Bridges, Gary Clark Jr., a lot of Austin artists. Like I said, Lyle Lovett is coming up, another Texas artist representing our state here in Hollywood, California for Willie's birthday. Also, there's going to be some rockers on the lineup. People like Beck, people like Sheryl Crow, who actually just released a song that was on an Austin compilation from last year. So we know that Cheryl's a big Willie Nelson fan, so that's not so super surprising. Some of the younger country music artists who are coming in, Miranda Lambert, chart topper. Who else is playing tonight? I'm going to get you the lineup in just a second here. Let me actually look in my bag. Oh, hey, look, we've got all kinds of folks coming. And beyond musicians, there are going to be a lot of other celebrities from the world of film and television coming out. We've got Chelsea Handler is going to be here, Ethan Hawke, Jennifer Garner. She has kind of a long connection to Austin. Owen Wilson, one of the Wilson brothers, is going to be here. That's exciting. Gabriel Iglesias. Going to go through some more folks that... Yeah, we've also got Buddy Cannon, Allison Russell, Billy Strings, Booker T. Jones. When you know how I was talking about that album Stardust, of the songbook album that he released, that Booker T. Jones was the producer on that, which is a pretty incredible story. Let's see, Chris Stapleton's going to be here. Daniel Lanois, another really a really groundbreaking producer. Edie Brickell, another Texan. George Strait, another Texan. Emmylou Harris. Emmylou Harris, in one of the books about Willie Nelson, said something along the lines, and I'm paraphrasing here right now, that when Willie sings, he is the voice of all America. Jack Johnson's going to be here. Gary Clark Jr., another one of Austin's favorite sons, is going to be with us. Chris Christopherson, one of Willie's oldest collaborators. Neil Young, also from another generation. Nora Jones, another young Texan who we really love. Particle Kid, who's Micah Nelson, one of Willie's children, is going to be here. Orville Peck, the great new country artist, is going to be here. Nathaniel Rateliff is going to be here. And I think he's actually going to be coming down the carpet pretty soon here. Oh, I see Charlie Crockett coming down the carpet, so we're going to talk to him in just a minute here. Also, Rodney Crowell is going to be here tonight. Roseanne Cash. Y'all, we are going to be seeing some country music legends. Ziggy Marley is going to be here tonight. Y'all, Willie's appeal, like I said, he kind of broke the the mold of what musicians were doing at the time, and he's kind of followed his muse into all sorts of directions. He actually released a reggae album at one point. Don Was, the famous producer, is going to be here. Tom Jones, we're talking about legends here, guys. Oh man, who else is going to be here? That's the house band. We've got some of Willie's regular players. Well, Mickey Raphael, I believe, is well. I actually am not sure. I won't tell you any lies about the house band because I don't know them. But they are. We've got Ann McCrary. We've got Keith. We've got Regina McCrary. We've got Gabe Witcher. We've got Terrence Higgins. A lot of folks in that house band. It's going to be a great show here tonight. Not exactly sure when y'all will get to see the show. We are going to keep you updated on that at austin360.com and statesman.com. But we are really excited. This is the first of 2 nights that the show, it's so big that they have spread it across 2 nights. Tonight is the first night. Both nights are sold out. So I'm sorry if you were hoping to come. It's going to be not a cheap experience if you're still trying to get tickets here, but it should be a really incredible evening paying tribute to Willie Nelson. And we're very excited to be here. We've got Lyle Lovett coming up. We've got Charlie Crockett coming up. We got some folks. Going to take just a break, but we do have Lyle Lovett coming up in just a minute here. Y'all.
Good to see you, man. So handsome. I'm just listening to you trying to take notes. I'm not any good at this, goddammit.
I heard you were live. Yes, we are live. This is Deborah from the Austin American-Statesman and Austin360.com here with Charlie Crockett.
What's the dang deal?
What's the dang deal? It's Willie Nelson's birthday.
He's a cultural phenomenon, that big Bill, isn't he?
Yep, he sure is. So tell me, as a Texas country music artist, what kind of an influence did Willie have on you coming up as an artist?
Well, it seems every time a major label shows up in my life, they tend to remind me that I'm unconventional and too country. And anytime they tell me that, I just laugh and think about Willie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Willie really broke the mold. We were talking about that a little bit earlier, that he changed the landscape for what a country album could be.
That's right, he did. You know, the idea of a concept album in country music, it was unheard of, and, you can't, when somebody's disruptive, it's going to go against convention. And a lot of these business folks, they can't be anything but reactionary,
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of vision. The visionaries come from people that get it the hard way, like Willie did, coming out of Central Texas, coming out them cotton fields and building that sound that, starts right here.
Yeah, what is your favorite live experience of Willie that you've had in your life?
Well, I played about 30 shows with him last year, and I was side stage on every one of those nights, and I never missed a single song, and he made me cry every night because all them songs that he was doing, they're the soundtrack to our lives. They really are, And besides that, my girl says I pick my nose too much, and they always say they called Willie Nelson Booger Red because I guess he used to do the same thing,
Yep.
Sorry to blow you up, Willie.
What is your favorite Willie Nelson song?
Well, the one that I'm doing tomorrow night is one of my favorites. It's the title track off his 1971 album called Yesterday's Wine, and that was a RCA album, one of the last ones he did. I know he said it was his most important record. It was his first concept album, if you want to call it that. But I was talking to Mickey Raphael about it. You don't need to hire a shrink. If you're looking for a therapist, just listen to Willie Nelson.
There you go. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for taking a minute to talk to us. We really appreciate it.
The pleasure's all mine.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Lyle Lovett coming down the line here. We're going to do a little bit more talking about Texas country music with another Texas country music icon. Very excited to talk to Lyle. Love Charlie Crockett. He said he was on the road last year, did 30 dates, I believe he said, with Willie Nelson. So up close and personal, said that he was side stage every night. Willie is a really magical live performer. He has said that for him, it's really all about connecting with the audience, that he finds a person in the audience, in the front row when he's having a concert and sings to them to get that energy of connecting with the artist with the audience. And that has been really important to him. And it's part of the reason that Willie Nelson is turning 90, but he is not slowing down. He is on the road this summer because that's where he likes to be. Out here with his fans. Yes. We are coming up on more of this red carpet action. We're going to be talking Willie Nelson with more celebrities of music and film and other things.
Where are you based? Here. You're from the middle one.
And Aaron with the Los Angeles Times, also based here. So nice to meet you.
We're going to listen in on Lyle Lovett.
A favorite memory with Willie that you'd like to share?
Just knowing Willie, there's so many snapshots that come to mind. One was on the way to Farm Aid one year. I was changing planes in Dallas, and also changing planes were Annie and these two little boys. So I met Lucas and Micah when they were like 3 and 4 years old, or 2 and 3 maybe. But just knowing them since they were little and watching them grow up and turn into the brilliant artists they are, I mean, that's part of Willie Nelson's legacy as well. Willie Nelson is an example in every way. His independence, his insistence on being himself, gave permission to lots of folks who came along after Willie to be themselves as well, and not necessarily conform to the convention of the business. And that's beyond his amazing songs and his unparalleled performing.
What's up, Larry?
That is a tremendous contribution.
People who are from the same place tend to speak the same language. You and Willie are both from Texas. Do you feel like you have a better understanding or a different understanding of him because of that?
I love the way he uses words. I love the way he speaks. There is there's a quality in Texas of saying things, suggesting a thought just to see if you can you sort of get what he's talking about, sort of testing you to see if you're keeping up. But Willie Nelson, you don't have to be from Texas to appreciate Willie Nelson, because Willie Nelson himself gives everything he's got every time he steps on stage. Everything he has to communicate, he communicates to anyone who wants to listen. And that's why Willie Nelson is universally loved the world over. He gives everything he's got every time he steps on stage.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lovett.
Thank you.
Hi, Lyle. Deborah Singupta from the Austin American-Statesman here.
All right.
It's nice to meet you. So to continue talking a little about Willie and Texas country, our big story that we love in Austin is about how Willie came back to Texas to find himself, and in doing so, changed the framework of country music. As a country artist who came after Willie, how do you see that progression?
Well, Willie Nelson made it possible for people to, and made it possible for the business, the conventional country music business itself, to think in broader terms. I think it's a really natural inclination in business to do what works. When people have investments on the line, people have skin in the game, they want to do what works. Taking a chance on something unconventional is not always the wisest course. Art and business are strange bedfellows to begin with. Willie Nelson showed that it was possible to write songs and perform in a way that people would love and embrace in a way that was not the conventional way of doing it. That opened the door for performers, but also opened the door for people in the business to expand their approach and to give people like me a chance.
Yeah, I heard you talking a little bit about Farm Aid. Can you talk a little bit about Willie's legacy? He's going to be honored at the LBJ Library, I believe. Are you going to be at that?
Be part of that.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
May 12th.
Yeah. So can you talk a little bit about that legacy, his legacy as a philanthropist and an activist?
Willie Nelson is a generous human being. The causes he's supported over the years, like Farm Aid, are great examples of that. But his generosity comes through in conversation. When he's generous of spirit in person. When there's something very special about Willie Nelson as a being on this planet. When you're with Willie and you have a conversation with Willie, you walk away feeling better. You walk away feeling inspired by his kindness and his attentiveness. Willie Nelson looks you right in the eye when you talk to him, and that's his genuine good-natured self comes through in everything he does, as well as in his philanthropy.
Do you think that is Willie's biggest legacy that he leaves?
Willie's legacy is broad and deep. His kindness, his spiritual sense is such a powerful. His spiritual sense is so powerful. You can't help but feel it when you can't help but feel it when you listen to one of his songs, when you see him perform on stage, or when you speak to him. Then you really get it.
I love that so much. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to us. We really appreciate it.
Will you be at the May 12th deal? That'll be fun.
I might. I'm not sure. Yeah. May 12th, Lyle Lovett is going to be at the LBJ Library for a new endowment that is named after Willie Nelson that the library is releasing. It's going to help fund future farmers, I believe, and really to try to help rural agriculture, which has been a huge cause for Willie his entire career. Like I said before, he grew up in a farming community in Abbott, Texas, knows really from a personal standpoint what the struggle is, and also so many of his fans through the years are from rural agrarian communities, and he has supported them the whole time. So, there's a funny story. When he was in Nashville, he tried his hand at hog raising and did not work out so well. He learned that actually being a farmer was more difficult for him than supporting farmers, but it's a cause that's been near and dear to his heart, and he's going to be celebrated for it May 12th in Austin. If you are in Austin and you're really sad that you're not here tonight and you're not going to make it to that May 12th event, Willie Nelson will also be playing his 4th of July picnic at Q2 Stadium in Austin on July 4th, and tickets to that are on sale now. looks like we've got Nathaniel Rateliff coming up on the red carpet. So,
The Joe Nick Witowski one.
yeah.
And I've got another one now of his from '88 called.
So we'll catch up with him in just a second. We're going to listen into what Charlie Crockett is saying here.
My favorite thing about him is, for me, coming up the back doorway that I did. You know, I always say, like, a lot of artists come in through the front door, some artists come in through the back, and then some of us, we dig holes into the basement. As I've read more and more about his life, I could relate to I'm 39, and I'm like, for whatever reason, by God's grace, I'm,
Okay, got it.
doing really well.
We've got Nathaniel Rateliff coming up. We're going to be back on with him. There's a whole lot of artists that are going to be here tonight. I don't know how many of them we're going to get to talk to, but we're going to try to talk to as many as we can.
Backstory is the way he started out in those back rooms in Texas.
A lot of people are talking here about how Willie has this, his legacy is so powerful of doing what he wanted to do. And it's worth noting that as we're looking at Willie's legacy now, that he was 39 when he really started to break through as an artist. That was when he moved to Texas. He was 1972. So he really took this mid-career pivot, which is something that we can all learn from. And like I said, in his 80s, he has been releasing so many albums through every decade of his life. He's just been a very, very prolific producer. Hundreds of Willie Nelson albums are out there. Some of the favorites are from his Austin years, I will say. Nathaniel Rateliff, who's coming up now, was actually also performed at Willie's 89th birthday celebration, which was at Luck Ranch. We have a story about that on our website, statesman.com, that I wrote today. It was apparently a very, very special night. Austin artists paying tribute. Bruce Robeson, who put that evening together, said that it was a little bit more like a hoot night at the Hole in the Wall than a polished production like this one is going to be. But that album has just come out. I believe it dropped yesterday, and it's just a really great capturing of a moment in time, a special moment in Texas history, and a Texas crew kind of capturing and paying tribute to an artist who made music that they really think of as the fabric of their lives. So many Austin country music artists told me that Willie Nelson's music is really the fabric of his lives. It's really stuff that they grew up with. It's ingrained into their consciousness. So, yeah. Looking forward to getting some more action on this red carpet coming up later tonight. It's the first of 2 nights of shows. We're not sure who's playing tonight and who's playing tomorrow night, but there's a lot of great people on the lineup for this. It's a good, yes.
There's so many really universal songs.
People say the same thing about me.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, I'm not on his level, but the diversity of the songwriting styles, long, slow climb. We've got that in common. Probably how I ended up, the same age as doing shows with him. I think just because of the long road, I really think it led me to Willie. Found him in my life. I can't tell you how rewarding that is in what I would otherwise call a wasteland in the music business.
You did quite a long run with it.
Yeah, we did about 30 shows with him. He made me cry every night.
And you watched every show.
I mean, tears. When I say cry, I mean tears.
And why was it important that you watch every show?
Because he's obviously.
Also coming down the carpet, we've got Billy Strings. He's an up-and-coming bluegrass artist. Billy Strings I believe, has 2 shows at the Moody Center in Austin coming up. He's a young picker who has really taken off in the last couple of years. Is becoming one of the artists that a lot of people who love Americana and roots music are really watching closely right now. So it just shows you this lineup for this show. It's got legacy artists, it's got younger artists, it's just got people from all over the spectrum. Snoop Dogg is obviously on this lineup. Snoop Dogg and Willie, we haven't talked about Willie's advocacy for cannabis culture, but Willie was advocating for cannabis culture long before anybody else was, and was really mocked for it a lot during the 70s and 80s. But I guess he got the last laugh when half of the country legalized it, and he has his own brand of cannabis products now. Willie has a wellness CBD oil product line, and he also has Willie's Remedy, which is a cannabis product line. So, which obviously those of us in Texas don't have experience with, but folks out here in California might. So, looking forward to this show tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see who else we've got coming up here. So Nathaniel Rateliff was on this compilation album that, like I said, there's a story about it up on our website. So he must be a pretty huge fan of Willie. I mean, everybody's a big fan of Willie. That's the thing. You know, Shiny Ribs, local Austin country western band, or not country, like roots rock band, their lead singer, Kevin Russell, told me that, you know, Willie is the patron saint of Austin. Everybody loves that guy. We might not agree about a lot of things in Austin. We agree about a lot of things. But one of the things we agree about the most is that we all love Willie Nelson. He's just a local icon. I was telling people that in Austin we have murals, we have a statue. It's just, we can't overdo the amount of love that we have for Willie Nelson. We ran into, as I was flying out here, I ran into a lady who was wearing a Willie Nelson 90 t-shirt in the airport. And she had been to multiple shows through the year and just talked about how for us, as somebody who moved to Austin in the 70s, Willie Nelson and the scene he created made her love country music and made her excited about it in a way that other things might not have. Yeah. So we're about to get a couple minutes here with Nathaniel Rateliff. Yeah.
You know, and that's last time I did something to do with record executive's office, Midtown Manhattan.
Old guys.
Wow,
Yeah. Old guys, and you know, we'll all age at some point. So.
What's the best?
Okay.
I was having a conversation on the Outlaw tour.
I mean,
I was watching him play. Listening to that man's music and talking about Bill and talking about Willie and his whole record. And I just stayed about how I feel about Willie. You know, when you're a citizen of the world, Texas,
lots of good ones out
there
there.
is no such thing.
You know, he has
The world.
so many
There is
great albums. So
it's
hard to pick one.
In case you're just tuning in, we're out here at the red carpet for Willie Nelson 90, long story short. This is a big event in Hollywood celebrating Willie Nelson's birthday. I think that it's going to be cut to a TV special at some point. Nathaniel,
Hey.
Deborah Sengupta-Stith, Austin American-Statesman here. So tell me, as somebody who has come up and played a lot of different kinds of music, how has Willie Nelson's music influenced you?
Well, you know, like you said, he's done a lot of different styles of music, and so it is an encouragement to me that you can always do what you hear and not be pinned down by any genre. So, yeah.
Were you were in Austin last year for his 89th birthday, is that correct?
I was, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that event. What was that like for you?
Oh, that was fun. I did Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. Such a beautiful song. So, yeah.
What do you love the most about Willie's songwriting?
Oh man, that's hard to say. His songwriting spans such a long period of time, and all the songs. Some of them have been around long enough that it just, I don't think everybody knows that they're Willie Nelson songs, or songs that he does that you think are Willie Nelson songs that somebody else wrote, but he did them in a way that they became his. So.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. What is your favorite memory of watching Willie Nelson perform?
Of watching him perform, I remember one. It was right after Farm Aid, and I happened to be side stage, just kind of at the end of the show when right before everybody goes out and sings with Willie on the little gospel medley. And I just remember Neil Young sitting next to me and just sitting there listening to Willie with Neil, and he was looking over, rocking out and looking at me, and I was like, I don't know. So, yeah. I think it's just Willie creates an opportunity for us all to come together and feel like we're a part of something that's bigger than ourselves. So.
Talk to me a little bit about his legacy as an activist and as somebody who advocates for local farmers and does through Farm Aid.
Sorry, will you repeat the beginning?
Can you talk to me a little bit about his legacy as an activist and
Yeah.
as somebody who has done so much work for local farmers through Farm Aid?
Well, yeah, my introduction to Willie was through Farm Aid, and watching him work and even sitting in on some of the panels at Farm Aid is what led us to start our own foundation, the Marigold Project. I could see the work that he was doing there and look back in my community in Colorado and also where I grew up in Missouri and see how much help people need. Not just in rural America, but in urban parts of America. There's a lot of disparity, So.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Appreciate your time.
Looks like we've got Billy Strings coming up in just a few minutes here. We've been talking to a lot of artists who have kind of a longer legacy and a longer history with Willie Nelson. It's going to be interesting to talk to Billy Strings, who is a younger artist, about what his take is on Willie's legacy and.
Well, I'm doing a song for you tomorrow night. That's one of my favorites. I love Leon's version. The beautiful version of Leon and Ray Charles and Willie Bush Dog. Let me see that also. And then tonight I'm doing a duet with Margot, making my music. Yeah, great.
Oh my goodness, y'all. Billy Strings has this amazing t-shirt that's a collage of all these different Willie Nelson faces. Yeah. Let's see, who else do we have coming down?
And the difference between doing Willie and Nelson, hard to compare, I'm sure. But,
well, they both done standards, so.
well, thank you for talking about it.
We've got more folks coming down the runway. We are here at Willie Nelson 90, long story short, here at the Hollywood Bowl in California. There are two nights of shows happening. This is night one. A lot of cool collaborations I think are going to be happening during this show. I know we've seen some photos so far from the rehearsals, and it looks like there's going to be some really, really wonderful different configurations and different ways to you'll hear songs of Willie's in ways that you have not heard them before, and that's going to be really exciting and fun for us. We're looking down the line here. We've got some more folks coming up.
My grandfather and my dad singing them songs out in the garage, having a few beers and smoking. It brought back all these memories of my grandfather. I was sitting outside a burn pile at my house, and I ripped off a piece of cardboard and I came up with this lyric, California sober as they say. Maybe I can't find another way.
Got some more. Hey! Deborah Sengupta Stith with the Austin American-Statesman here. Nice to talk to you, ladies.
Good to be here.
So, you ladies have been performing in the house band for this special. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, were you fans of Willie Nelson before you signed on to do this project?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've been knowing him a long time.
And I loved his music before I even knew who he was, which even better.
Yeah.
Songs like Always on My Mind, all those songs as a little girl growing up. I fell in love singing that song to my boyfriend.
Yeah.
But the thing is, to be able to share the stage with Willie is one thing, but Willie considers us as being family.
Yeah.
So to be able to share the stage, the studio, and life with him, it is an awesome blessing. An awesome blessing.
What is as somebody who has that personal relationship with Willie, what is the most striking thing about that? What would you like people to know about Willie Nelson?
Willie Nelson has the kind of heart that he can share who he is, his music, with everybody. His heart is genuine. You meet some people, and what they look like one way is not where it is in another way. But he is sincere, 100.
He's the real deal.
He's the real deal, and
Yeah.
we love his family.
Yeah.
We love the whole entire family.
Yeah.
And we together are the McCrary
Yes,
sisters.
you
Yeah.
are.
Yes.
So as a family band, how do you feel, like, because he performed for years with his sister,
Yeah.
until she passed last year,
Yeah.
rest in peace, Bobby Nelson.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that family vibe has contributed to Willie's music through the years?
Well, he has a song called it's not what you go through. It's something you get over. It's a song that talks an angel falling too
through
close.
it. Yeah, you get through it.
It's not something you get over. You just be able to get through it. An angel falling too close to the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
Those are songs that when our sister Deborah passed away,
Last year, yeah.
we played those songs, and Raul from the Mavericks performed that song and dedicated it to our sister. So it's a closeness. And then when you listen to the words to Willie's music,
Yes.
he's telling you something.
Yeah, he is.
Telling stories.
Oh my God,
It's
yeah.
so great.
Yes.
It is
Yes.
so awesome.
Yes.
Across the borderline. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Beautiful
famous
album.
Tom Jones is going to perform it today, tomorrow.
I don't know.
He's
One of
going
the
to
days.
perform it. What is that?
Whenever it is, we're
Yeah.
excited about it.
Yeah.
What has been the most exciting thing about this particular performance for you?
Hanging out with Willie
Yeah.
and honestly getting to meet Tom Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have sung and performed, recorded with probably the majority of people that are here today, but we never had the pleasure to meet Tom Jones.
So we're always excited to meet new people.
somebody
Yeah.
new.
Yes.
I love that. What do you think of as Willie's long-term legacy? When you look at through his career, what would you say Willie's legacy is?
Everything, Lucas, Micah,
Yeah.
all of it. His music, the way he's loved, the farm aid, everything that he does it with a sincere heart, and he does it to help people, and that goes a long way.
Can we say icon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. We consider him the patron saint of our city in Austin. So, yes. Well, thank you so much, ladies. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you perform with Willie at the show.
Thank you so much.
I know it's going to be a show when you're in the lineup. We did that song.
Next up, we've got Billy Strings, I think, but we also have the Lumineers coming down the carpet, so we will see. That was the McCrary sisters. They're going to be performing as part of the house band. They said that they have a long history of performing with Willie and have been at many of his shows. Billy, Deborah Sengupta Stith, music writer for the Austin American-Statesman.
How you doing?
Great. So, Billy, as a younger artist who's coming up in the roots music world, how did Willie Nelson's legacy impact you as a younger artist coming up?
I mean, it was from a my childhood, you know, my grandpa and my dad singing those songs when I was little. I think it was like early on. I think On the Road Again and Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain and all those tunes, I was hearing those before I could, you know, tie my shoes. So that really had an impact, you know, just that's kind of how I base music, is off of this stuff that I learned when I was little, you know.
What is the most striking thing about those songs to you?
Willie's beautiful singing and phrasing on the guitar, and his just the way that he plays and sings and writes these songs. He's been doing it for so long, and one of the things that I'm really just always impressed about with Willie is just his longevity and his career. I mean, he's been doing this since like the mid to late 50s or something, and to be in music for that long, it's like, you know, cheers to that man.
What has been the most exciting thing for you about working on this particular show?
Just being here, you know, with all the other artists and knowing that the show is going to be incredible, and it's getting ready to start pretty soon. But there's a lot of really great artists here, and they're all in one place to celebrate Willie. And I think there's going to be a giant love bomb right here at the Hollywood Bowl.
If you had to be on a desert island with only one Willie album, which one would you take?
Red-Headed Stranger.
That was a fast answer. What is it about that album?
That was my grandpa's favorite record. When that record came out, my grandpa went and got it, and he sat my mom and my aunt and stuff down and made them listen to that over and over. So my mom knew every song by word, you know, and she sang those songs to me. I was raised on it, spoon-fed that music as a baby, you know. It's really important to me.
As a songwriter, what do you learn from Willie?
That's a good question. He's got like songs where there's just a chorus, or even a chorus twice, and just one verse and the chorus again, and that's it. Yeah. You know, it's like you don't always have to have two verses and like a chorus and a bridge and like all this stuff going on. Just get straight to the point, you know, point and shoot. That's what I learned from Willie, point and shoot.
Do you have a favorite performance memory of watching him perform?
On the Outlaw tour that we did with him last year, what is that place? The Saratoga Performing Arts Center. We just had a great gig there, and I love that venue so much. And me and my band went out front and kind of snuck in right up front. We watched Willie, and man, it was just so incredible. Like I said, I had tears in my eyes, and I was laughing and smiling, and it's so special.
I love that so much. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Next up, it looks like we have the Lumineers. It might be just a minute here. We have coming on. We've got a few other folks coming down the runway. We're talking about Willie Nelson's legacy.
Yeah, that's what happened is I was on the Outlaw tour, and then after that, I was just so into, I was listening to Red-Headed Stranger like exclusively for a couple of weeks or something. So when I was sitting out by the burn pile at my house, ripping off a piece of cardboard to start my fire, I come up with this, I'm California, so we're going to do this, whatever. And I started writing out this song. That sounds right there. And I said, man, this is such a Willie tune. We wouldn't finish this tune. I sent it to Willie and asked him if he wanted to. The most sincere thing I can honestly say is that Willie's one of those guys that as soon as you start hearing him sing and play guitar,
Also seeing Charlie Sexton coming down the runway right now, and it looks like Daniel Lanois, producer, is also coming down the runway right now. So we're going to be talking to a lot of different people about Willie Nelson's legacy here in Austin, or here in Hollywood, California. We are not celebrating in Austin this year. A lot of people are asking why this production, why Willie's celebrating his 90th birthday in Hollywood, and I think it's because a lot of people wanted to honor him, and they wanted to create this special and really record this moment and creates a lasting document of Willie's 90th birthday.
Hey, how are you?
Looks like Next up, we're going to have either the Lumineers or Daniel Lanois. A lot of folks, a lot of different kinds of folks who are coming down this runway today, talking to us about Willie Nelson's legacy. We're here for the first of 2 nights of Willie Nelson's 90th birthday celebration.
Even though it's a fun, lighthearted song, they told me the
Oh, is it? No, that's Charlie Sexton.
That's another reason why I thought maybe we could do this song cool, because I don't drink either. It's been like 7 years since I've had a drink, but I still doing that. And I'm like, what feels like that? Willie? You guys don't drink?
Pretty Paper might actually be different.
Marijuana advocates, so we'd be down to do a song like this.
I don't know. I mean, that one for me was certainly like the most fun in my house as a kid.
Yeah, it's just what an honor to do the song with him, and I will cherish it. When I'm an old man, I can turn that song on.
For me, that was like
I made a song with really
hearing someone.
Yeah, you could.
It's hard to describe it. Like,
what are you doing at the show?
He's always seemed to not care in a good way. Like, even I'll sing the line when I'm ready to sing. It's so like behind the beat and relaxed.
There's a whole bunch of different songs.
There's a swagger to it that when you do that enough, in the beginning, everyone
but everybody
our way.
Everyone to sing.
I gotta do it
For his birthday.
And that's how you get to be so unique and recognized.
And all of a sudden the sun went down, y'all. It's been kind of warm out here in the sun. Now it turns surprisingly cool. Those of us from Texas maybe did not pack enough clothing for this event. We shall find out as this evening comes on, goes on. Really looking forward to this show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Really exciting. Always exciting to honor Willie Nelson. Like I said, patron saint of our city. I in my story that I just wrote about Willie Nelson. Hey guys, Deborah Sengupta-Stith, Austin American-Statesman here. Tell me about your experience with Willie Nelson. When did you guys first become aware of his music, and how has he influenced you guys as artists?
I mean, for me, it was growing up. Every Christmas, Pretty Paper was an album that my dad had on cassette, and we just played it round the clock. Luckily, because there's a lot of bad Christmas albums, and that's actually a really good one. And so it was kind of like when you have all these memories tied to Christmas time and the magic of that with his voice and with everything, it's kind of like I was dosed to love Willie forever based on that.
Yes, can you tell me a little bit about from your perspective?
Yeah, so I grew up in New Jersey, really close to West, about a mile from him, and in my household, Willie Nelson was sort of referred to as like older music. That was something my grandmother listened to, and she's no longer with us, but I mean, I was like, oh, that's just to fast forward that he's still relevant, that he still just put out an album at 90. That just speaks so much to his artistry. And as far as his inspiration to us, I mean, I just think be yourself until, ad nauseum, that people just get what you're all about. And I think that Willie's sort of the poster child for that, and just we tip our hat to that. So.
And you guys kind of, like Willie, blur the line between a lot of different genres. You've got kind of a rootsy thing. You've got kind of a rock thing going on. Did his own rejection of any walls on his music, does that inspire you guys as artists?
I certainly, I think it has to, because I think you fail faster when you make music for other people. Like in a weird way, you have to be selfishly really moved by what you're doing, or else it's like if it's not giving you goosebumps, it's never gonna translate. So he made a lot of brave choices all along, including things like that. And I think a lot of maybe more of like the machinery of music behind it, like labels and things, might want it to be all neat and clean, but that's not how we are. We're all dynamic, and he proved that by having such longevity. And basically, it's like everything can change around him instrumentally, but there's always Willie's voice and trigger usually. So you just have like this, and he's kind of fearless. We could take a lesson from him as far as being prolific. Like I don't know how many albums he's put out, but it's just insane. It's very brave, and like just to be able to not edit that much and just go off the hip. It's amazing, and so I think in that way, in a business where he's like, if you look at football, Tom Brady playing past into his mid 40s, like nobody stays around relevant this long in music. Like he's such a rare breed that way because he is who he is.
And Willie had some of his breakthrough years in his late 30s and his mid 40s. So, you guys are on a desert island. You can only take one Willie Nelson album with you. Which one do you take?
I'm going to take Pretty Paper because I would want to feel like it's Christmas.
All year round?
Yeah.
What about you?
Same.
Pretty Paper?
Yeah.
Christmas all year round with Willie Nelson.
State of mind. It's good.
Love that. Love that so much. What was your favorite part about working on this particular show?
I think getting to work with Jer on Song for You and trying to figure out how to distill it down like Willie had. Like it's a Leon Russell song, but it's been covered a lot. And Willie kind of made it so his own and in a very minimalistic way. And so Jared did this beautiful thing on piano that really takes it in a different space from Willie's.
I stole everybody's version and distilled it into our own. So I think, honestly, getting ready for both songs, particularly Song for You, we're also doing Pretty Paper, but Song for You was sort of, for me as a pianist, was sort of like my Mount Everest musically, and then trying to make something cool and original and unique and sincere with us, but also just feeling like a kid and watching Norah Jones rehearse yesterday, Chris Christopherson, Chris Stapleton, the backing band. I mean, they're all like Ben from
Heavyweights, yeah.
It's from
Ben Montench, yeah.
I mean, just like every single person on stage.
Mickey Raphael, yeah.
Something about Mamas and Papas Don't Let Your...
Miranda Lambert.
Yeah, her version. Yeah. I don't know the name of that song, but it's in the stunning version that she's doing tonight.
Don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. That one.
It's like I was so happy that she ran it again. I was just like, I was in awe. It was amazing. So.
What do you consider Willie's greatest contribution to the American Songbook?
You mean just like his artistry or his song? I think just being who he is. Like I said a couple microphones down, that within 0.1 seconds you know it's him, and that's so freaking hard to do. And after you do something like that, if you can make your music and artistry almost easy to parody or easy to mimic, you're actually in some weird roundabout way doing something really amazing. It's something that's, you've done the impossible, and I think he's truly done the impossible. He did that many years back, and he continued to somehow keep it fresh and take the same glass and turn it enough times to keep it original and never tread over the same ground. And as an artist, that's so freaking hard to do. It really is. So
I love that so much. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to us. We really appreciate it.
Totally. Cheers.
Thanks.
Forgot to introduce those guys in case. Hey.
Pretty soon. But
Yeah. Daniel.
Yes.
Yes, Daniel Lanois, amazing producer, been in the music world for years. What do you consider, as somebody who has worked with Willie Nelson through the years, what do you consider his greatest legacy?
I'd say that his capacity to touch hearts in all walks of life. He's loved by so many, and I can't think of too many artists that hold that position.
What do you think it is about Willie that creates that kind of universal love?
He has a very giving personality, and when Willie sings, I feel he's singing to me, and I think his soulfulness reaches listeners beautifully. It's a very special talent, and it's a talent that lives beyond music.
What has been the best thing about working on this particular show?
Well, just to be surrounded by amazing talent. I heard some great vocalists today, and as a record maker, I just love to hear that kind of presence in the singing. Willie has it. Some of the other folks I heard today have it. So aren't we lucky to be here?
Yes. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Introduction to the world of melancholy.
I got to hear the backstory. That's why it's so good. He's bringing
I do.
weight to the is that it's too cheery.
So it's good. It sounds like because it's 2 nights, people there are going to be 2 different versions of the same song. There's going to be 2 songs for you.
Yeah, not the same.
Charlie!
What are you doing?
Austin American-Statesman, Deborah Sinkup-Stith. Nice to meet you here, bringing a little bit of Austin, Texas to the runway here. How does it feel as a Texas artist to be here celebrating Willie Nelson?
It's a blessing. It's fabulous. I'm not lying to say that I absolutely love him, and I'm 100% honored to be here to play with my friend Edie, another Texan, Edie Brickell, and to be here to share this evening with everybody and with Willie.
So obviously the story that we love, the myth in Texas, is about how Willie came home to Texas and found himself as an artist who sort of cut his teeth and came up in the Austin scene that he helped shape. How does that legacy strike you?
I think it's partially correct. I think Willie, he'd written a bunch of songs and he'd found him. He knew, we hadn't found him. Yeah. He figured out a way to, kind of let everybody know what was going on. And it's I said earlier, it's hard to put into words how important he is to the world of music, to all our friends and family, that know him or just admire him, which is funny since he's so good at putting things in words.
Yeah.
In song.
So what has been the best thing for you about working on this particular show?
It's the celebration of it, honestly. I'm completely honored to be here, and just because I keep turning around and it's yet another friend from another direction, and we all have the common thread of loving him, and being blessed to be here.
So if you had to take, I've been asking everyone this question, I'm going to ask you too. You're on a desert island. You can only take one Willie album with you. Which one do you take?
That's hard. I have a song that I'm obsessed with. It's an early song called "I Let My Mind Wander," and it's just like, every time. And that's just one song that I am obsessed with among many. So yes.
So that's an album you would take?
Well, it's not the album, but that's
you take that song. You just want one song.
No, I'll take some albums. I'm going to sneak more than one.
As a songwriter, what do you think that younger songwriters coming up, what is the biggest thing they can learn from listening and studying Willie Nelson songs?
Just the fact that, there was a story recently, just yesterday I saw something talking about, he just put it out there. You know what I mean? However that happened, however it came to him, however it came to be as a writer. And I Never Cared for You, for instance. That particular song, I'm not a musicologist or study when things, really, I'm not, right. I kind of just absorb it all. I don't get overly academic about it, but I saw footage of him performing that song on the Ernest Tubb show, in the 60s, late 60s. And I was just like, this is amazing. Yeah. That this song was written in that scenario of Nashville when everything else that was going on, and that was on TV. All of it's just all this love it. It's strong and powerful, and every now and then we'll get artists, whatever artist that is, whether it's a singer, a songwriter, or a painter, or this or that just sort of and that's Willie.
That's Willie. Well, thank you so much for helping to represent Austin on the stage tonight, and we can't wait to see you perform. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk.
Have a good night.
You too. Y'all, coming up next, we've got Miranda Lambert coming down the runway, another Texan artist. On the red carpet. Yes, the runway, the red carpet. It looks like a runway. So excited to talk to Miranda Lambert. Excited to see her at this show tonight. Yeah. And take a picture quick and share it to the gram. Here we go, guys. I'm going to share it to the gram. You guys can follow along with, actually, that's not a very good picture. Let's do another one. There we go. Oh, yeah. Still. I want to, she's such a pretty lady. There we go.
How are you? Good to see you.
We might have to add
Yes, absolutely. We're just going to get a minute with Miranda. So, We're going to ask a question about Texas because she is from Texas, and that's what we're going to do.
Staying so hip too, like he's so up with the times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very, very much a hero.
Do you know anybody, any musician in your life who doesn't love?
No, I'm not friends with those people. If you don't love Dogs and Willie, we can't be friends.
Deborah. Sorry. Yeah. Deborah Singupta-Stith from the Austin American-Statesman. As a Texas artist, how did Willie Nelson's music figure into your life when you were coming up?
I mean, I've known Willie's songs like my literal whole life. I feel like he's just sort of he's our like him and George. That's it for us as Texans. You know what I mean? You don't get much better than that. So I'm thankful for his dedication to his craft all these years, so we can all enjoy it. You know.
How does he influence you as a songwriter?
I mean, I think the fact that it's so versatile. He's so versatile and he's so honest. You know, that's all we ever want to be as songwriters.
Yeah. Yeah. What is your favorite Willie Nelson song?
That's a good question. I think my favorite one is Last Thing I Needed, First Thing This Morning Was to Have You Walk Out on Me. I don't know how to beat that one, but when they asked me to do this, I was like almost a year ago, and I randomly picked the song I'm singing, but I just was overwhelmed. It's like the catalog's so extensive. I was just like, just pick one. They're all great. You can't go wrong.
Yeah. Do you think he's a leader in kind of the new American songbook?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't know that anybody will ever catch Willie and what he's done for music.
I love that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk to us.
No problem. Thank you.
Got a few more folks coming down this runway. I keep calling it a runway, guys. It's a red carpet. I promise. You can see it. Yeah, our photographer is laughing at me. I watch a lot of drag race guys. That's why runway's on the brain. It happens. It's a very different scenario. Very different scenario. However, a lot of really cool talent coming down here. Yeah, the weather just changed dramatically when the when the sun went down here. It got surprisingly chilly. They are going off. Are we? Interesting. They left. Looks like. Oh, Nora Jones is coming. Another Texan coming, Nora Jones. It's going to be great to talk to her. Looks like we maybe have a minute before she comes. I'm going to take this minute to put on another layer because it is suddenly chilly here. Taking a moment to put on another layer. Oh, that's better. That was sudden. The temperature drop. Very sudden. Nora Jones coming down the red carpet towards us. I feel a special kinship with Nora Jones because, like myself, she is half an Indian, but we're not going to talk about that today. We are going to talk about Willie Nelson. Nobody really cares about me in this situation. We are here for Willie's 90th birthday. 90 years, y'all. How many people make it to 90 and are still putting out relevant music, still winning Grammys, still have all these artists coming down the red carpet and celebrating them, coming out to find different ways to to experience Willie's music. Every single person who we've talked to tonight has talked about how this music is part of the fabric of their lives, how they grew up with this music. Willie is such an influential performer that it just cuts across so many just different boundaries, so many race, class, genre, all kinds of folks. Leon Bridges, we've got another Texan coming down the red carpet. We love Leon Bridges. Love him. Pride of Fort Worth, Texas. Got a few more folks coming down this red carpet at the Willie 90th. Long story short, 2-day production here in Hollywood, California. If you want to catch Willie in Austin, he is going to be back in town for a fancy gala, I believe is May 12th. Might be too high dollar for you if you don't have the money for that. He will also be back for his annual 4th of July picnic at Q2 Stadium on the 4th of July. I have a story up on our site, statesman.com right now, which talks about some of those early 4th of July picnics. Y'all, they were crazy. The second one that he did, the first one that he did, they were kind of afraid nobody was going to come, and it was him and Leon Russell out there before dawn playing gospel music on the stage, and it was kind of unorganized, but they pulled it off. For the second one, they actually did it at Texas Motor Speedway. He said that in one of his books that there was an RV race on the track. A couple cars caught on fire, but the folks had a good time. So the 70s were a crazy, crazy time in Austin. That's, long story short, that's the story I'm giving you today. Nora Jones coming up. Love it.
Yeah, and we're trying to get a few more people to come over now. I think my favorite is the first time. I know. The first time I met him. Yeah, we're just going to see more of it, and I haven't met him yet, so I didn't understand.
We're just going to get a minute with Nora. Of course, we're going to ask her about Willie's impact on Texas music, because if we get a minute, that's what I'm going to do. I care about you, my Austin people, and my people out there in the universe who are not from Austin. Come to Austin, visit us.
I love that he's just himself. He's unique. He's never tried to fit into a box. He writes the best songs out of anyone on the planet. Let's see, what else? He's one of my favorite guitar players. It's all just so, it's the perfect package of uniqueness.
And you and Willie are both great interpreters as well as songwriters, and tonight you're getting to interpret one of his songs. How does that make you feel on his 90th birthday?
It's amazing. I love singing Willie songs in the shower, or at the ball, or for him, or with him. I'm thrilled. He's a great songwriter. He's also interpreted so many other great songwriters. He's such a giving musician in that way, and I think that's also pretty cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Deborah Singupta-Stith, Austin American-Statesman. Thank you so much for talking to us. As somebody who came up in Texas, how did Willie's music influence you as a young person?
Willie's just in the air, he's in the water, he's in the trees in Texas, and it's the sound of my home, and it always has been.
What do you feel is his greatest legacy as a songwriter?
As a songwriter, all these great songs he's written, they're classics, they'll be around forever, and they're just so fun to interpret.
What is, okay, I've been asking folks this, and I'm going to ask you too. If you're on a desert island, you can only take one Willie Nelson album with you. Which one do you take?
Probably Redheaded Stranger because it's the one I've known since I was a little girl.
What is the best song on that?
That's a trick question.
All of them.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Mr. Chris Wilman. Hi, how are you?
So I think you might be the only person who built two nights who has a band named after Willie. That's a great distinction. And that has to be symbolic somehow.
It looks like things are maybe winding down a little bit on this red carpet. We're going to hang out a little bit longer and see if there's anybody else that we can get. We've been getting a lot of great stories about how Willie has just been so influential to artists from all walks of life, especially to the Texans, especially to folks who are interested in country or roots music, because he really broke the mold for that and just opened up so many possibilities for artists who to find different ways to express themselves. Beloved, universally beloved for that. Let's see. 30 minutes till the show time. So it looks like things are slowing down. But we are going to be bringing you reports from the show. We'll be bringing you some more reports from this red carpet tomorrow. And yeah, you can tune in for what's going on here in California. It's going to be a great show, y'all. I'm very excited. And I wish that everybody could be here, but you are going to get a chance to watch this on TV at some point. Margot Price is coming down the runway, or the red carpet. It's not a runway. It is very much not a runway. Margot Price has been spending a lot of time in Austin recently. She was also on that tribute album that just came out from Willie's 89th birthday. That one was recorded in Austin, or just outside Austin, where Willie has a ranch just outside Austin called Luck. And it's actually the set that he used for when he made the movie The Red-Headed Stranger. He built the set, and it's a little town that's in Luck. It's Luck, Texas, outside of Austin. Do a lot of productions out there. Last year, they recorded a celebration out there for his 89th birthday. There's a story about that on our website, statesman.com, right now. Margot Price was part of that. Nathaniel Rateliff was part of that. A lot of the folks who are here today had a hand in making that happen too, and you can buy that album now. It's called One Night in Texas. The next waltz is tribute to the Red-Headed Stranger. Got a little lull right now. We're waiting for Margot Price to make her way down the red carpet.
she just sort of made for this? Where you're like, but I love brick shirts. Ticketmaster keeps telling me to go to
Roseanne Cash also coming down to the runway. Another. It's not a runway, I promise. It's okay, guys. It's been a long day already. Coming down the red carpet. She, again, obviously country music royalty, part of the legendary Cash family. I'm sure she has an interesting relationship with Willie, given the relationship that her father had with Willie. Yeah. Aw, Margot Price and Roseanne Cash are sharing a moment on the red carpet right now. Owen Wilson just walked by. I think we missed him. That's okay. Can't get them all, y'all. He did walk with purpose through here. Margot Price has actually been spending quite a bit of time in Austin lately. She was in town for South by Southwest and just taped an episode of ACL, the television show. She spends kind of a lot of time hanging around our part of the woods. Likes us down in Texas. Back at home in Nashville, Margot Price has been very active in some of the calls at the Tennessee legislature. There's been a lot of protests over gun violence in the wake of that shooting that happened a few weeks ago at a Christian show in Tennessee. Margot Price has been out there on the front lines at a lot of protests. Very interested to hear if Willie's activism is something that was influential to her as an artist coming up. Really grateful to be out here celebrating 90 years of Willie. It's really spectacular that Willie is 90 years old, and not only is he performing this show, not only is he going to be in Austin for the 4th of July picnic, he's actually going on tour. There's a Willie 90th tour because Willie loves being on the road again. He doesn't make a lie about this. He tells us straight up. Got a few more folks coming down this red carpet. Get a couple minutes for them. A lot of people are talking about Willie's his legacy as an activist with Farm Aid. He's raised millions of dollars for rural agrarian farmers through the years. It's a huge part of his legacy, as much as his legacy is based around music. Everybody's been talking about that a huge part of his legacy is that he's a wonderful, wonderful person, and he's very generous in his spirit, and that there's so much love that he puts out into the world. And really, that is the message of Willie. If you look at his body of work, at his books, at his music, at the things he says, I would say the message that I get from it is be you, do you, in the best way you can. And if you can be you and do you in the best way that you can, and also spread some love in the universe, that's Willie's legacy. That's the message of Willie. That's the gospel of Willie, as I interpret it. We'll be talking to Margot Price in just a second here. Yes.
Recording on my second album, All American-Made, and I remember going into a studio in Spicewood, Texas, and the trigger was just sitting there and an ashtray with some joints, and came out. He sang the song, he played the lead on it, sang harmony with me, and when we got done at the end of the day, he just shook my hand, shook my husband's hand, he co-wrote the song with me. Turned to me, he was like, it's a great song. You were just trying to be me as a songwriter, and he goes, but I didn't write that song, he doesn't. And I think that high lasted a really long time, it was like weeks of just really feeling joyous. Really lucky. I don't know how we got to know him as well as we have. We went to his house for Thanksgiving and sat around and told jokes, and his wife Annie made us into dishes. We've become like family to us. One of the best things that ever happened to me.
And this weekend you're performing, and like, what are you going to perform?
Okay. I'm going to perform with Made of Weightless tonight. We are doing I Can Get Off on You. It's a Willie and Waylon song. And then I'm going to be doing tomorrow night. I'm doing Georgia on the Fast Train with Waylon and Kate. It's really fun.
Did you choose them, or did somebody?
I picked I Can Get Off on You, and then I was asked to sing Georgia on the Fast Train, and I love Waylon Hayes so much.
Roseanne, Deborah Singupta-Stith, Austin American-Statesman. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to us. We are here celebrating 90 years of Willie Nelson. Obviously, you come from another legendary country music family. When did you first meet Willie?
Oh, I was a kid. Maybe in my teens, I think I first met him and Chris and Waylon.
Yeah.
So all of the Mount Rushmore guys.
Yes.
And he and Chris are the last ones standing. You know, it's really moving to see that his relentlessness and his perseverance and his authenticity, like just who he is, rooted in himself, you know, has kept him on the planet, I think.
Talk a little bit about the relationship between your father, Johnny Cash, and Willie Nelson. They were close friends.
Yeah, he and Willie and Chris and Waylon were all like brothers. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been thinking about that about Willie, like how much he must miss my dad and Waylon at this time, you know. And Chris is here tonight, which is really sweet. So to be with those two guys is just, it's beyond moving.
As someone who has spent a lifetime in the music industry, what do you see as Willie Nelson's legacy?
As a songwriter, number one, I mean, he's a truly, truly great songwriter and that covers all genres, not just country music. But his legacy, too, like I said, is his authenticity and his perseverance, you know. It's not just about talent, it's about showing up for work every day, and that's what he's done.
What has been the best part about being involved in this particular show for you?
That I get to witness him reaching 90, reaching this momentous point in his life, and that he's still going to go out and play and sing. I mean, come on. How many people get to say that they do that?
What do you think your father would have said?
I think he would have been jealous, you know. I think he would have liked to have made it to 90.
I think we all would have liked that. I think we would have. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk to me.
Thanks.
Hi. Hi. What are you doing? How you chose it?
Sorry.
Happy birthday, Willie.
I got a little teary back there. It's okay.
Such an experience. Here's to 90 more. How did you such a wealth about tonight? Yeah.
I got in there early, man, and asked what I wanted.
A lot of memories, but I think what did you get? Tonight is like
Loving
a
Him was
culmination.
easier.
There's so many wonderful folks here. You know, I'm looking forward to it. Wow. Okay.
My son hang out with
Thank you so much for taking the time. Appreciate you.
I
Deborah Sengupta-Stith, Austin American-Statesman. We are live. Can you introduce yourself to the people?
I'm Warren Haynes. My band Government Mule is releasing a record in June, and I'm here with the Willie Nelson 90th, and I'm proud and honored to be part of it.
So you're as someone who has known Willie for a really long time and has kind of come up in the music industry. What do you see as Willie's lasting legacy?
I think he has a greater legacy than just about anyone. I mean, I have no idea how many records he's actually made. I'm sure it's well over 100. But he's recorded and performed with so many musicians and artists and so many genres. I think he's kind of made it his mission to keep checking all those things off of his list, and I can't imagine anybody that's accomplished more.
What is the most striking thing to you about Willie as a songwriter?
You know, he's written timeless music his entire career, and songs all over the map, recorded by so many different artists, but his songs are going to live forever.
They really, really are. If you had to take, if you're stuck on a desert island and you can only have one Willie Nelson album, which one do you take?
I would probably take Red-Headed Stranger. I just think it's incredible, but I'm such a fan of Angel Flying Too Close to the Ground. You know, it's maybe my favorite, but it's hard to choose.
I love it. Thank you so much for talking to me. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Got a few more folks coming down this red carpet, which is not a runway. The show is scheduled to start at 7 o'clock tonight, so we're going to be wrapping up here pretty soon. No, we didn't get Margot. Yeah.
And Mr. Keith Wortman, our executive producer.
Hi.
Line up together.
I love USA Today. I just spoke to Brian.
Yes.
We had a great chat.
Yes, and I'm from the Austin American-Statesman, so we are part of the USA Today network. Obviously, Willie is the patron saint of our city, Austin, Texas. Tell me a little bit about putting this show together. What inspired you to do it?
Well, we've been friends and partners with Willie for a long time. We produced the Outlaw Music Festival together with Willie, and we knew his 90th year was going to be a very special year. You know, his 90th birthday was going to be a very special year. He had new record, new book, new tour, massive documentary about his life, and so we knew we had to plan something that befits celebrating someone we all adore and admire to celebrate his 90th.
I get the sense that there are a lot of magical moments coming up in this performance tonight. As things started coming together, were there some things that you weren't expecting that came together at the last moment that were surprising?
No, we kind of planned for everything, but I think the most exciting thing is in rehearsing for the show, we came up with some incredible artist combinations of performing songs together, so the audiences, the fans, are going to be really surprised when they see these songs sung with these sort of once-in-a-lifetime type combinations. So,
what has been your favorite moment of working on this production?
My favorite moment, I think, is when he walked out on the stage to rehearse a little bit today with George Strait, another fine Texan.
Yes, Texas.
And I had a chance to wish him happy birthday. It brought tears to my eyes. So anything that happens from there on out is gravy as far as I'm concerned.
I love it. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to us.
Likewise, thank you.
Fabulous. Deborah Sengupta-Stith, Austin American-Statesman. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to us. So I know you have been in Austin a lot, you've been at Luck a lot. Talk to me a little bit about your relationship with Willie Nelson.
I have been so blessed to be able to get to know him and spend time with him and work with him. I just recorded a single at his studio in Spicewood, Texas, on his ranch, and it's one of the coolest studios ever. I've just really loved getting to know his wife and, you know, Lucas and Micah, and they've let us come to their home in Hawaii and made us Thanksgiving dinner.
I love that. So as somebody who plays country music and who plays country music that doesn't really fit the mold of the Nashville machine, how has Willie's story and his legacy influenced you?
I read his memoir, probably, I don't know, it was 8 or 9 years ago, and everything that he's been through, the way that he just kind of kept rolling with the punches, his house caught on fire in Nashville, and he'd, been through all sorts of personal turmoil as well, and he just continued to go on, persevere, moved away from Nashville, did his own thing. I mean, his story inspires me so much, especially as somebody who kind of got my start, in my mid to late 30s. Willie kind of having this huge career starting at 40, it's so inspiring. I mean, even just the way that he's aging naturally, and their whole family is just incredibly down to earth and the best people in the world.
And beyond his music, I know that Willie's activism is a big part of his legacy. I know you have been out at the Capitol in Tennessee protesting for things that you believe in. Does Willie's legacy as an activist influence you?
100%. To see him standing up for the things that he believes in and not be really concerned if it's going to affect ticket sales. He's been out there supporting Beto and, supporting cannabis, supporting the family farmer. I'm incredibly inspired and moved by him, and it's absolutely influenced the way that I work.
I love that. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I think it is the man, the legend, Tom Jones, coming down this red carpet at us. Earlier, when we talked to the McCrary sisters, who are working in Willie Nelson's band, they said that meeting Tom Jones has been one of the most exciting things to them about working on this production. So we're very excited to talk to him. Oh, it looks like we are not going to get a chance to talk to him. The show is about to start. I'm not sure. Jack Johnson is coming down the red carpet.
And this is our executive producer. He's friends with Gus and the whole thing.
And plus Joe in Nashville.
After Jack Johnson, let me ask you.
We do have Jack Johnson still coming down the red carpet. Looks like things are starting to wind up as folks are getting ready for the show. Can hear some music in the background. Maybe it's some artists warming up. I would imagine that the arena is probably filling up right now as we're getting closer to showtime. Like I said before, we're really looking forward to, everybody's talked about how there have been so many interesting collaborations, new interpretations of Willie's songs at this event. Really excited to see how this plays out. We obviously in Austin, Texas, huge fans. His music has been the fabric of our lives, and it's going to be great. He's part of the American Songbook now, and just to hear how all of these different artists interpret his work, very excited to see how this plays out. Jack Johnson has a classic Have a Willie Nice Day t-shirt on with the braids. I was talking about how when they unveiled the Willie Nelson statue in Austin, how we did a photo booth where we brought our own braids and everybody was able to put the braids on and take a picture by the statue and share a message with Willie Nelson. if you have any messages and things that you want to share with us about your love of Willie Nelson, you can include them in the comments below this video. After we get done with our red carpet coverage, we're going to have some stories coming up for you on statesman.com probably tomorrow afternoon. We're also coming to both nights of this show, so we're going to give you some highlights from what we saw, some of the exciting collaborations, some of the exciting songs that we've heard.
I'll just ask, what are you doing? I can imagine that if you're acknowledging that you have many projects. I heard you're doing.
Okay.
Well, go ahead, tell me.
Okay, so I'm doing I Can Get Off on
It
You.
looks like we are almost done with this red carpet. But we are going to have more reports to you. We're not going to be live again, but we are going to have more reports in print. We're going to have photos. We're going to have videos. We have some cool stuff, reports from this show.
And I think you write the liner notes for the
Looks like Jack Johnson is the final person we're going to get to talk to on the Willie Nelson.
Yeah, but that is one of my favorite ones. Let me write anything. Pay me even $200.
I'm really looking forward to a lot of the different things that we are going to hear tonight. Can't wait to hear how some of these different collaborations come together. I know Orville Peck and Leon Bridges. It's just the amount of different artists that we are going to hear interpreting Willie's songs. It just really speaks to the universality. Ziggy Marley is here. He's going to be playing a song with Willie, or one of the Willies with I don't know if Willie is actually playing at this show. We have been told Willie is not going to play at this show, but you know, Willie loves playing. So I would not be 100% surprised if he did pick up a trigger and step onto the stage, but also Willie is 90 years old. If he wants to spend his birthday just listening to these beautiful new interpretations of his song, we respect that, and we will take our other opportunities to see Willie as he heads out on the road on the Willie 90th tour that is coming to cities all around the country. He'll be back in Austin on July 4th for his 4th of July picnic. Before that, he's going to be back in Austin on, I believe it's May 12th, for a big gala event at the LBJ Library. So. Yeah. Right, my folks back in Austin, Texas. I hope that you have enjoyed coming with us on this red carpet journey here in Hollywood, California. We're glad that we've been able to bring this event to you guys. And a lot of people said, why is he being celebrated in Hollywood and not Austin? Well, we are here to try to bring it back home to you in Austin and to the people out there in the rest of the world who just love getting this Austin national perspective on Willie Nelson, who is just a legend. No other way to say it.
So I think he's not only changed country music, he's changed music. I think he's changed the world in a positive way. He's put a lot of love in this world. So I appreciate it.
What's your fondest or even craziest Willie Nelson?
Watching some more artists go to get ready on the stage. Norah Jones is walking through right now.
He's fully present. He's all the way there. He's listening. He's
A lot of artists that we have seen tonight. I think it's going to be a really, really exciting show, y'all. You guys will get to see it on television at some point. We don't have the air date for it or any of that information, but we are going to be tracking that to get that information to you because we know our local audience really, really loves Willie Nelson. What's up, Deborah Sinkup-Stith, Austin American-Statesman. Thank you so much for talking to us. So we are out here celebrating Willie Nelson. What is to you the greatest part of his legacy?
Oh, all the love would be the greatest part of his legacy. His songs are so full of love, and his message. Everybody he surrounds himself with are all great people, and it's. I've always had a great time when I've been able to be in the same room or venue and get to share time with him. But I've also had a great time being out in the audience just listening to the music, or on the other side of a headphones or a speaker, just getting to hear his music has changed the world in a really positive way.
I read an interview with him one time where he said that when he's performing, he finds one person in the audience to focus on, and that kind of gets this vibe of love going. What is the most striking thing to you about him as a live performer?
It's so cool to hear that he said that, because I share a similar thing where when I'm playing, I can really only focus on maybe 3 or 4 people, and I keep going back to them throughout the night. So to hear that one of my heroes uses that same technique, what was the second part? It threw me off.
What do you feel is Willie's legacy, or what do you feel as a performer is the most striking thing to you watching him?
The thing with Willie is it's always so easy for him. It's just so second nature, and everything he does is natural and from his soul. And it's all about love, and he's such a loving person that giving that love is never a performance. It's always just him giving the love that he truly feels to everyone who's listening, you know. And he's an amazing guy.
As a songwriter and a guitarist, what do you admire most about Willie Nelson?
Probably his lyrics, but his guitar playing is amazing, and his guitar itself. I love that his guitar actually has a character and that it's so worn in, and he continues to play that same guitar, and he just does things his own way. I think it goes without saying that Willie Nelson has a signature that's all his own with his music.
What was the best thing to you about being involved in this particular event?
Oh, it's just an honor to be included in Willie's 90th birthday celebration. You look at the list of musicians, and I'm just happy to be on it. And I would have been here if I, no matter where it was, I would have traveled anywhere to be here for tonight. So I'm happy to be here.
I love it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk to us.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
Well, that wraps it up from our coverage of the red carpet here for Willie Nelson's 90th birthday. The show is about to get started. We're going to have reports from the red carpet. We're going to have reports from the show. You can follow along at statesman.com. You can probably find some of our content at usatoday.com later this weekend and going into next week. Happy birthday, Willie. We are so happy to be here and part of this celebration. So from our team, happy birthday, Willie Nelson. Thanks, y'all.